Okay, so the young Seungho. When the author said that we will get to see Seungho with his hair down, I was not expecting this. This is still with a ponytail though, but man, this dude looks so freaking scary. Before we get started though, I just want to remind our viewers that if you like seeing more yaoi content and would like to support this channel, please don't forget to smash that like button. Also, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Feel free to message me in my social media at ZEALED FUJOSHI, which I'll be using to interact with viewers about more yaoi content. If that's something that interests you, feel free to follow me at ZEALED FUJOSHI. Finally, this episode will contain explicit content and a lot of manhwa spoilers. With that in mind, please proceed with caution. You have been warned. Now, without further ado, let's jump into chapter 82 of Painter of the Night. Man, after that rough start of a chapter, Seungho came to his senses, and Jiwa's father is going to blame Na-kyum for what's happening to Seungho and Jiwa. Seungho and Jiwa, to be honest, has been doing all kinds of shit throughout their entire lives. But how come Na-kyum is to blame right now? Like, what the F? Na-kyum is just minding his own business, but everyone around him is so dramatic and so problematic, all because everyone is so homophobic. Seungho don't even want Jiwa's raggedy ass. Now, we know why Jiwa is such a pain in the ass now, because look at his father. Look at what his father did. Jiwa's father went to the master Yoon, Seungho's dad, complaining about Na-kyum. How did the master Lee, Jiwa's dad, know about Na-kyum, the lowborn anyway? Did Jiwa tell him? Is this part of their plan to ruin Na-kyum the second time in hopes that the father will tell it to Seungho's father? And we get these flashbacks of Seungho and Jiwa having sex and getting caught by Jiwa's father. It looks so intentional to me because Seungho looks so freaking crazy. His eyes, his smiles. He looks like he obviously wanted to get caught at this moment. And man, the reveal, the face reveal of Seungho's father. He looks like a demon. He looks like he got possessed by a ghost. But man, he looks handsome. He looks like an older version of Seungho with a beard. But I am not going to simp on this man because he's a horrible person. He's a horrible human being. And going back to the Jiwa and Seungho scene, look at the folding screen in the background. That folding screen is the same folding screen that we see in chapter 74 in the nightmarish flashback of Seungho's childhood. This means that all of those terrible things that happened with Seungho when he was a child happened in his father's chambers. And this is a fact from chapter 74. What did this bastard do to his own son? And in today's chapter, the Seungho look. Oh, no. Today's chapter, but this is a flashback of the young Seungho. The young Seungho looks so satisfied, as if he wanted to get revenge on his father that he got caught in his chamber with Jiwa. I kind of feel like all of this hatred that Seungho has with his father, an old man with beard that he has been, name dropping for a while now. I can't help but feel that maybe even though his father did some sort of effed up thing to cure Seungho's so-called disease, but I can't also help but feel that his father also kind of used Seungho's or sexual orientation and setting him up for some sort of bodily exchange to help the Yoon family go higher than it was, like exchanging favors with other family or powerful families. But man, like, if he used his son to do that, he's really more of a douchebag now than ever. Because right now, after realizing this, I suddenly had a flashback of that young Seungho in chapter 74 of crying in a locked up room while screaming for somebody to help him get out of that room, while he looks like he got molested as a child. And aside from the whole Seungho trauma, this also brings us closer to the people that is coming after Nakyum again. And what might they do to Nakyum now? Seeing how much Nakyum wants to love Seungho really hurts my heart. I'm so scared for what's gonna happen to them, because now more powerful men are in play, and much more powerful men wants to deal, quote unquote deal with Nakyum. But I have some solace on the fact that at least Seungho has some of his sanity back, that I am hoping that he would be there to protect his baby Nakyum. Remember, he did drop the fact that if he so chose to, the family of Yoon is his to claim, right? So maybe that's some sort of a foreshadowing that if he just wanted to, he can use the Yoon family to really protect Nakyum. But I don't know how valid that claim is. Yeah, there's a lot of fear in Seungho's eyes in this chapter. I kind of feel like there's two things going on in Seungho's head during this moment. First one is the fear of hurting Nakyum once he realized that Nakyum is crying and that he broke his promise to Nakyum. And second is the fear of losing Nakyum again for breaking the so-called promise. Seungho was really shocked when he saw Nakyum cry. And it's so obvious how he panicked when he realized that he has hurted Nakyum without realizing it. I'm so glad though that he did realize his wrong immediately this time, because he has some serious PTSD. And now we know from some clues that was released on this chapter that there is a very valid reason why he is acting the way that he is. And as readers, we can only hope that Nakyum could see that Seungho is the way that he is, because there's a lot of story behind it. And I know that action speaks louder than words. And Seung-ho kissing Nakyum's hand to sorrow is sweet to look at, but he needs to properly communicate his past and everything else to Nakyum so that there is some sort of reassurance that can be formed between them, because I kind of feel like communication is the only thing that can save them from all of the people that's trying to wreck them. And sadly, this is the truth. Seung-ho is doing his best to be perfect in Nakyum's eyes, even sometimes that he cannot control himself, because we all know that he has PTSD. He still knows how to accept his mistake and apologize for it, which is a big difference from the Seung-ho that we knew from the earliest seasons of Painter of the Night. He realized that he was making such a big mistake, and I'm so happy just because he realized it. Byeonduck, the author of Painter of the Night, is such a talented author at showing the feelings through the faces of this character. When I saw Seung-ho say, "Don't cry, I am to blame for this," I really like this side of Seung-ho, who lowers to a lower status and feels a lot of regret. And you can feel that in this chapter. And for Seung-ho to tell that to a lowborn that he wronged, what a total noble. That never happens at their period of time. Remember that nobles at this time, they are taught that they are much more better than any lowborn, and because of that they kind of feel so entitled that they don't feel any remorse for doing anything bad to the lowborns that they encounter. And that always made me feel sorry for the Lord, but seeing how much of a progress this is, I am happy for the two of them. I can totally see that he does not want to lose Nakyum, because he has finally found someone who loves him in his emotionless world, and someone that can really feel him and accept him for who Seung-ho really is. And to the people that says that this manhwa has no plot, here is your plot, biatches. My God, although this chapter is really controversial and it took me a long time thinking about how I'm gonna react to this chapter, all I really want to say is this chapter is really beautiful. The fact that Seung-ho apologized to Nakyum is such a big step forward for this wonderful couple. I wouldn't say that it's okay, especially the beginning part of this chapter. I'm not saying that's okay. I'm not saying that. But I also want anyone who's listening to this show to know that Seung-ho really is trying. And it takes a long time for someone to change, especially since this has been decades of trauma. It doesn't change for a week, a month, a year. Takes a long time, but it's a great thing for him to try. And he knows he effed up, and he knows that he regrets it. I really enjoyed recording today's chapter. I hope you enjoyed today's episode too. Please don't forget to follow my social media to be teased about some of the boys' love that I'm interested in. Feel free to leave me a message and converse with me in my Discord channel. I'd love to hear back from you. And please consider supporting the show by donating as little as 99 cents through www.zealedfujoshi.xyz. Also, don't forget to support the author. All the manhwa details can be found in the description below. Again, thank you so much and hope to see you next time.